Hello everyone, welcome back to another Age of Empires 4 commentary. I am Beyond, and thank you so much for all the support. As of right this second, I'm recording a few videos in a row. We're at 21 subscribers. The video I just dropped on Sunday is doing super well. I know I mentioned this in the last video, but I just want to say thank you so much again. I believe the last one you'll see is the Lenok video of and the Water Wars again. I didn't realize it was on the water, so I'm sorry. I know it's some controversy of if it's good or bad. Regardless. Today, in this gameplay, we're going to have 3DB as the Chinese in the top right hand-ish center, northeast, if you will, as the Chinese player, and we have Revolt at the bottom left-ish, southwest. Terrible airline, but regardless, southwest position. Obviously on this map, as the English player, obviously on this map, there's going to be a lot of hot contestation over these two gold and this sacred site right here. We just see players wall off these sections right here before the nerf to the walls. We just see the Chinese player definitely wall off against the English to prevent any shenanigans with the longbowmen. But we'll kind of see. And on this channel, as a classic, I'll always mention, if you decide to use the woods up here, it will be a lot more susceptible to early aggression. If you elect to use the closer bundle, which is right over here, it's much easier to defend, but it is a risk of running out of wood much faster, as opposed to the plentiful woods in the back here. That being said, it looks like on this side we have a the spawn. Everyone pretty much has all the same kind of things. 2 boars, so pretty resource dense map. So we see some pretty large armies going around. We have 3DB taking the berries as we go, and we have the Imperial official obviously collecting some taxes and getting going on, and they're watching them over. We have some early gold coming out here. With only 2, it looks like at this point. The English have 3. That's pretty standard as well. I'm sure we're going to see the council hall, because obviously this is all before season 4 drops, which is on the 16th, which I believe this will be dropping the day before the new patch. So who's excited for the news patch? I know I am. It's going to change up everything. It's going to kind of make the mundane builds that we see all the time all change up. For instance, Council Hall is probably still going to be very popular, but what you can see pop out of the Council Hall is also going to be incredibly different. Obviously, with the new tech up, it's going to allow the Council Hall to allow the building of any range unit. So it's going to be able to build crossbows. It's going to be able to build hand cannoneers. That's a huge change up, because obviously right now the English struggle severely against any civ that has a lot of armor in Castle Age H3, for instance, like the HRE, as we witnessed with the stream of in a few videos ago. The stream of those men at arms with the upgrades is just too much sometimes for the English to handle, which I think will be thwarted a little bit with the changes to the council hall. That being said as well, the Abbey of Kings, obviously you get a king, which everyone was super excited about, so that's going to be awesome to see. The Chinese, I think there was a few changes here or there, but I don't think there was anything that I've seen that was huge. Let me quickly look and I'll do it later. But I don't recall many massive changes happening on this end. But super excited, and apologize if there is something that's very large coming. But yeah, as I said in the last video, I don't know who I'm going to main yet, so hopefully you left a comment on that one, or you can leave a comment on this one on who I should main in Season 4. I'm currently an English main, but looking to change it up. Just been doing the same kind of thing over and over again. I usually do a lot of 2v2s with my friends. I'm not as much into the 1v1 at the current moment, just because I know that it's going to be changing. So I haven't really spent as much time investing time into learn the 1v1s, except for casting purposes. And obviously the pros can do things that I just can't do. So watching their replays, I've definitely gotten a lot better at recognizing some things in my game. They're like, oh, we'll just do this. We should push now X, Y, and Z. I've seen what happens when an HRE gets to scale by itself. blah, blah, blah. So it's definitely helped a ton. So you get that gold elo-ish. My friend is now in platinum. So for 2v2, it's been so much fun. And I really do love this game as how it brings together. And the community's been unreal. As you can see from... I've only been doing these for about 3.5 weeks. I already have a small little subscriber base, and it's honestly incredible how nice everyone's been in the comments. So I really appreciate it. I've been trying to take on the comments as much as I possibly can, and also incorporate them into my commentaries. Obviously, I'm just kind of trying to build some time because we're not going to see too much happening until the English develop this little death ball they usually do. About 3 archers, 1 man at arms. They can do spearmen for cavalry focused civs. So it's pretty standard play. Revolt not investing too much into this. Oh, and I will also drop right now the win rate between these 2 civs. But it's pretty standard. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, since the English usually go a ball of some sort, those nest of bees usually do a lot of damage. As you can see, 3DB decided to put up this wall to make it a lot harder for the harass to go down, which looks like it's being pretty successful. Oh, the civilians. 3DB is like, not today. Not happening today. Which is unreal. You don't usually see a group of civilians just running down archers too often. We have a scout trying to run them down as well. They do like so little damage. But it's working out. Alright, you can pull these back now, 3DB. Pellets from the of the sun defensive landmark. Absolute pellets. Obviously, this is kind of like a mini fort, which always gets built by the Chinese, which is kind of cool. And the Imperial Academy, which is dropping out Imperial officials. And do love this wall to protect this back more, like I mentioned. This one's a little bit more susceptible to raids. Every time I say it at the beginning of one of these videos, it always happens. That happened again. So just know, if you're going to do this, make sure you do a little bit of a wall off in the new season. Walls are more expensive, so just note that in your first couple of games when you start on the 16th. There's some big changes that are going to happen. That's one of them. I think it's going to 7 wood instead of 5 wood, and they're reducing in health, so it's not as effective of stopping nations such as like the Rus and the French with early knights. We have 3 men-at-arms and 5 archers. I only see 3 at the current moment, because there's one just chilling over here. Just, he didn't really want to deal with it. He didn't really want to spend the time. That's okay. These units stuck on the other side. You're gonna lose 1 archer. Obviously, with the town center and this landmark, the Chinese are always pretty safe early on. That being said, they are more susceptible to the rams that the English usually like to do, like a ram rush around that. So we'll see if Revolt decides to go that route. A town center being dropped down by 3DB. Do like this. I think loving the position that he's in, and also loving that they're putting it this far ahead to kind of protect this stream of units that are getting over here and really causing harass. Ooh, another one goes down. And also it protects these berries. And it just protects essentially this, like any units kind of going this way, which is always good. And having these 2 up front is good for protection. I will say, like I said, it might be susceptible to if they start to build rams. And as I said that, siege engineering going down. So Revolt getting the same kind of thought that I had as an English player is, if you see this kind of formation from the Chinese, you're not going to get much early on in terms of damage. That being said, an all-in timing push could definitely work in your advantage. And it doesn't have to be all in. It could just be, as long as you get some economic damage, to allow yourself to get into that castle age. And obviously, the more this scales, the Chinese are just going to get scarier and scarier. 3 archer ranges going down for 3DB. Is that 4? No, blacksmith. So the economy is starting to boom a little bit. We're starting to get up to those numbers where a player left alone of their caliber is going to get pretty scary on the Chinese. Alright, as we saw, I think 3 or 4 videos ago, 5 videos ago, with Linux on the Chinese, it just gets to a point where, like, if you don't harass, I don't think it was Linux, sorry, I think it was someone else, but if you don't harass early on or get some early on economic damage, the Chinese just scale so well. And then that massive clump of the hive of bees, it says 2 rams, where is the other one? This scout gonna see it, so so 3DB is gonna have some time over here, a sneaky one. I'm assuming they're gonna attack this town center over here because they don't want to attack one at a time. And mass archers against these rams not gonna do tiddlywinks because the arrows barely harm it. I'm assuming they're gonna have to pull villagers. The rams are currently unsupported at the current moment. You'd love to see, you'd love to see the archers be in range so they can start take out these crossbowmen, or take out these archers. And there they are. And there's the civilians. The man-at-arms going to the wrong one. Excellent micro by 3DB, popping them in and out, getting one torch off, popping them back in. I'm assuming we're going to see that one more time. One out, one in, one ram gone, which is a lot of investment. That being said, this town center is going, no, it's not going down yet, but a lot of damage. As you can see though, even with this economic damage, even with 6 civilians killed at this point, 3DB still has a 17 civilian lead, keeping this together at all costs. We still have these archers going down. I think this one is going to go down. I think it's a lost cause. Yep, he's starting to 3DB starting to pull back his civilians. Oh, they pop out the very last second to start healing. These archers are getting a lot of value, and they're back out. They're out in front now. This is incredible micro. The English player doing everything he possibly can. Revolt trying his absolute best, but I just don't know if it's going to be enough. Oh, wow. What a defense. This civilian micro was so sick. Just popping in and out. He's going to get this last ram. 3DB. Boom. Go back in. Defends it successfully. They took down 13 villagers, but as you can see, they still have a 14 villager lead. 3DB played in that so well, popping in and out seamlessly. It really was incredible to watch. And I think Revolt just has to keep going. I mean, this is pretty much like you need to do some damage, more damage than what you just did, especially with the sheer investment that you did into this type of army. Obviously, each battling ram is going to cost around 250 wood. Why can't I click on anyone that can make me a battering ram? Interesting. But it's going to touch 250. Those archers you might want to back up. I would back up, yeah. You're not going to do anything against men-at-arms. And you want to save yourself for when they try to attack this. I was going to say, you might want to start definitely bolstering up. There it goes. Magically starts to just look as good as new. I wish that happened to every building whenever something was attacked and or just hit by any natural disaster. I wish it could be that easy to put back up. Don't want to waste on those. Start shooting these archers. Obviously, with this tower in the back, the English are now going to have that steroid for network castles. When I move this ram back, I was going to say these civilians are going to pop out, throw those firebombs on it, and they get it, and they're going to get back in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lost 2, but 2 for a ram is so worth it because they take a lot of resources to get going. I don't think you want to move back. You don't want to. Yeah. You don't want that smoke up in there with the network of castles. It's just too much. There we go. Let's see what's in the back end. We have obviously iron mesh for 3DB. We have level 1 melee bonus for these men-at-arms for damage. Wheelbarrows, but as kind of always, we have hand cannons that's going up for this outpost, which is nice. I mean, this is going to take for absolutely ever to take down with this. Why doesn't it just show me the outpost? I don't care about what's inside of it. That's not true. Sometimes I do. That's not always true. Look at how little damage that these archers do to those men-at-arms. We still have just more and more archers coming in, hitting a mass. 27 at this point. I wonder if that's enough to one-shot a man-at-arms. We have another 2 battering rams coming into play. trying to take out this tower as much as possible. Obviously, if they can take that out, the network of castles will go down, and that steroid boost from the English will go down as well, which is really helping their archers at the current moment. The Chinese with the mass archer strategy, 3DB, might want to start shooting. There we go. Oh, plays it perfectly, so it gets into seed range, as if you will. Obviously, slits coming out for this post, so they can start throwing those little iron bombs at them, which do a lot more damage to armored units. These civilians popping out, in and out again, playing this perfectly. Look at this micro by 3DB, amassing a group of archers that is just so much, that's just providing so much. Men-at-arms have gone down, the tank has gone down, another battering ram is about to go down without getting what it needs, and I think the mass archer defense for the Chinese was the way to go here. And obviously on the back end, look at this macro by 3DB, it's absolutely impeccable, up by about, what? Math is incredibly hard. 27 civilians, and going after this first tower because they go, I don't want you to have network of castles anymore, and quite frankly I find it to be rude. So obviously this was a risky play to have this town center. They've killed 19 civilians, but that being said, they have so much extra, and on the back end for the English we have really nothing going on for revolt. Some pretty inefficient timber mining going on. We have some berries, some boar. I just don't. The back end is not nearly as good as what they had on the front, but the front end was absolutely thwarted by just this beautiful sound of just. I was trying to react to the crossbow, but that's what it kind of sounds like in my ears just the whole time. I know you guys are gonna hear the same exact thing, but what? And then 3DB also going up in age too. So with the 30 civilian lead at this point, I just don't see how it's even possible for things to come back. These men-at-arms are getting absolutely kited and destroyed. I was just gonna say, once this gets upgraded to veterans, this is gonna be pretty much all she wrote. Man, these buffed up archers are pretty sick from the Chinese. I'll have to give them a try. Maybe that will be my new civilization that I made in season 4. Because I could just spam this sound and these archers all day long. I already played the English, so I got that micro down. Obviously not nearly as good as someone like Marine Lord or Beastie or Lena, but you know, for a gold player it's not too bad coming from that StarCraft 2 days. We have the board going down on this side as well for the 3DB. And then starting to get some aggressive. Because they're like, you know what? There's no way you have much chilling over here. And he would be right. At the same time as well, I don't think you even need to bring this force up here. The veteran status in. But I don't want to fight in that network of castles until you have hives of bees. But as you can see from the score over here, it's just getting out of hand. Nice spread out. Concave. And obviously these are much, much cheaper than men-at-arms. Men-at-arms, obviously 120 with 20 gold, and then the specialized archers are 20, 30, and 30, so not bad at all. Just absolutely peppering. It's unreal. And at this point, it's just going to keep getting to a mass. I don't know if we need to keep, well, I guess to use your, I mean, I guess any trade is good for, at this point, 3DB, because the economy that they have on the back end side is so superior, so all these trades just make it so that he can't get aggressed on, which I guess that's why he'll just keep taking these, because if you keep kind of angling these out and they keep losing men-at-arms, even when you lose 1 or 2 per time, it's still worth it. And really trying to prevent the English from getting anything going. We have a little bit of berry action into farm action. There's the farms going down. I noticed the food start to go up incredibly much. King's Palace going up. Obviously it acts like a town center, which is a pretty common third. Some people get the White Tower if they feel threatened. But at this point, I don't think that Revolt 3 is particularly threatened by the massing of these crossbowmen and archers. I think it's just one of those things where, like, I don't think that it's possible for them to win this game with how far behind they are. I think they've just gotten to the point where they've hit this critical mass. They're starting to hone in on that 200 number, and their economy is nearly double that of revolts. And by economy I mean civilians, but when you have double the civilians and you're untouched and you have this much stuff, I would love to see a timber patch here and here, a timber camp there and there. And also when you start to sprinkle in archer, crossbowmen for these men-at-arms, as you can see, ripping them apart like absolute paper. And there's the first hive of bees starting to pick up. And civilian deaths on revolt side is not good at all. So you take that trade every single day as a Chinese player. This hive of bees is still hidden. Did bring up a civilian to make sure that they have some backup with this tower over here. Obviously, this will start to shoot as well. And this hive of bees is going to get a lot of value to killing all these farms. Look at that AOE fire. Every single farm, and once you start to amass, there is another one in the field, so once they get that, I don't see how it's even I think it's pretty much GG. What's going down here? We have barracks going off in the base. Pretty aggressive. Obviously not much stone is being made, so we don't have the forward keep just yet, but that will come into play for sure. I'm going to go after the civilian line. And once they do, yeah, there they go. Both of them getting absolutely, oh. It's a tough day at the office. 9 to 5s are hard, but so are. When that, oh no. What a done. Save that. That's the bees. Save it at all costs. There we go. Oh, that's GG. An absolute killer blow by the nest of bees. One more for the lads. I mean, whoever's manning that nest of bees wasn't the best aim on that one. Missed again a lot. Good micro by Revolt. Okay, where are you going? You little rogue? Say, give back. Give back there. Sees a civilian line. You might want to move these over here. We have palace guards coming in, which is pretty much just done and dusted at this point. The civilian count nearly about 60 up at this point. And GG's. What an awesome game. That was amazing micro by 3DB. What they did to be at the front of their base at that town center with the microing of the civilians popping in and out, the mass of archers in the back end was a really, really good call. And really just once you thwart that rush, I believe Revolt invested over like 1,000 wood in just the battering rams alone. I mean, after that, it started to just get better and better and more value. And obviously, the Chinese players allowed to econ on the back end of it, which they were. It just led to a really, really difficult situation. I'm super, super excited for Season 4. Thank you so much for all the support on the videos. I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, let's just keep growing. I would love, in the early part of Season 4, an early goal would definitely be 50 subscribers. And yeah, I really appreciate every single one of you that's been commenting, been liking, and look forward to more content. I'll definitely be dropping a ton of Season 4 content once it drops. So looking for you how you stop by the channel. See ya.